Fireworks waiting on the edge of the night. Stars over Mossy Creek burning bright. Freedom bash, come gather round. We're still putting culture in the ground. Raise a jar, raise a glass. Here's to the ones who make things last. No shortcuts here, no borrowed dreams. Just hard work, living in the seams. Turn it loose, strike the spark. Build tomorrow after dark. Freedom to build, freedom to try, freedom to fail and still get it right. Freedom to lie, freedom to build. Pass it along so the whole world knows. We're still growing. Tennessee hills and a lab-like glow.
Hello, testing. Microphone is working. We have got more mess in the background. We're just going to ignore that today. Ignore me. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm a little hot in here. I think my AC froze up. So we are working on. I've actually got the fans going. It's been kind of crazy busy day. How's everybody else's day been going? You guys been doing okay? I've had to deal with bureaucracy today and failing equipment. And not my favorite. That's like two of my least favorite things in the world is maintenance and bureaucracy. Maybe that was me going live. Yeah, man, it's hot, Plum. It is so freaking hot out there. And of course, the AC wants to break on what feels like the muggiest day of the year. So it's like the fan's going out intermittently. So I need to talk to my business partner and see if he's got either the spare fan or if we need to get into what do you call it? Our landlord. There we go. And see if our landlord will fix it. I mean, he usually does send somebody if there's ever something wrong with the infrastructural stuff of the building. So it's one of the nice things about renting is, you pay more rent than you do when you're trying to pay a payment to own something, but then you get somebody else to come in and do the maintenance, and that's always nice. So, howdy all y'all Micronauts. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Well, hello, Steve. Good to see you. As you guys saw, I didn't know if I was even going to be able to do a stream this week today, and so I was going to leave it till last minute. So since we had all those meetings this morning, but we'll call them meetings. I didn't schedule the stream till about an hour ago, so it's gonna be pretty low. Oh yeah, was it because I hadn't announced it yet? Yeah, I mean that was the thing, is I wasn't sure if we were gonna be back in time, and honestly, I'm still a little irritable from the whole experience, but I'm happy to have it done with and over with. So it's really quite okay, but we got never mind, I don't have to reach. We'll see. Hey there from Nepal. Dang. Well, hello, Nepal from East Tennessee. What's up with the name Wood Smoker and Nepal? It looks like you got a pipe there. So are you wood smoker because of pipes? Or are you a wood smoker because you smoke things in a smoker? Or both? I guess my real question is, what's up with that? Plum says, anything new going on? Yes. Let me think about some of it for a second, because some things I can talk about, some things I can't. I got to remember which ones are which, right? So So I'm doing some research, some production research for a company. It's pretty killer. So we're being paid to do the research for it, which is super cool. And some of it is going really, really well. And I think that some of the technologies associated with this could be pretty game changing. So there'll be some pretty cool stuff production wise that might make things easier for a lot of people and lower the barrier to entry a bit. And I'll be happy when I can actually talk about that and announce it because it's pretty cool tech. But there's some stuff that's got to be done because since it's being paid for, it's owned and all that kind of thing. So there's that, and then there is the breeding programs are going really well. You know, we've since we kind of stopped everything else and we've gone into that, I've been able to launch more intensive breeding lines. The bioprospecting is going well. We have, like I think I said this last week, but we have we have an albino golden oyster, which is super cool. It was found wild. And that is showing clean growth on the plate. So I've got to confirm that it's albino. Like, is it like truly leucistic or not? I've got to grow it out and do some further testing. Going really well. Affiliate program's going really well. I've had some Renegade mushrooms. You guys may be familiar with him. He is an affiliate now. I think he made his first sale today, I think, on that. I don't know if he announced it or not. And then we have Crystal Lane King. She's quite a few sales actually. And then we have Andrea Davis, who just started up with us, and then we got a couple others coming online. So pretty cool being able to reach out to the different networks and stuff. And then we have actually, I think this affiliate program is a piece that I should have started with time ago, and I feel like it's really putting together some of the missing pieces that I've had. Because it's really, I think, going to cover for a real weakness that I have, which is that I don't sell myself. So that's it also allows me to, again, to focus on dedicating mushroom breeding projects. Bioprospecting is more important right now than breeding, but I think that the bioprospecting will lead to future breeding, but for now, bioprospecting is more important. So if anybody's ever asking me which one's more important, hit your bioprospecting programs first, breeding, secondary. And eventually we'll be able to really hit the breeding program with a lot of that stuff. So I have a mushroom farm, but no mushroom. Well, that's sad. You want mushrooms in your mushroom farm. That's kind of the purpose. What's up, B Wares? Hello. It's just the fool cops. They don't let us smoke on pipe, so I created a channel to smoke on pipe. Oh. Can't smoke a pipe where you're at in Nepal? My father used to own a mushroom farm. He is no more. I'm staying in his farm, but no mushroom equipment, just only his mushroom farms. Okay, so you got like the buildings and stuff. Man, I was long years spending hours watching your videos. Well, thank you very much. Spending long hours. It's lovely and good to watch your channel again. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man, very much. And hopefully, if your mushroom, I don't know, are you starting the mushroom farm back up? Is that something you're looking at doing? And what kind of mushrooms did he grow? Did he grow agaricus, or did he grow some of the more wood-dwelling cordyceps? I guess in Nepal, you guys have access to wild-hunted cordyceps sinensis. I don't know how you pronounce it. But, yes, sir. Yeah, man, well, wow, that was a crack of thunder. Oh man, I feel like this week. I feel like I'm never gonna get to go fishing. Thought somebody that you did. Nico walked over there. He's actually not supposed to be in the lab, but he is in the lab. Splotchy is the bigger one, the calico, and she is allowed to be in the lab because she is very well behaved. But he's a kitten. And he's not supposed to be in here because he can be a bit of an a-hole. Yes, cordyceps. Okay, like Yarshagujimba. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Yes. So the cordyceps militaris, I'm guessing, is what you guys farmed. I mean, that's a great one, man. We sell a class that Sam from Shroom Squatch helped teach, and we have the digital link and stuff to that class that we had done. I did see it. That's a Looney Tunes reference. Yeah, it took me a second. What was I saying? Oh, but the cordyceps. No, it doesn't matter. I'll get there. Obviously, the Vyvanse doesn't work, Fine, I'll ask the first question. Where's Mossy? I'm Mossy. Everybody calls me Mossy. What do you mean, where am I at? I'm right here. Unless you mean my wife. She's back there somewhere. Half fungus, half caterpillar. So you guys raise them on insects. Yeah, that's something I've wanted to do. We get tomato hornworms out here every year, and I noticed that in India and stuff, it looks like they use tomato hornworms to raise the cordyceps militaris. My goodness, it's a lot of thunder. If the stream goes down, guys, it's because of the storm. Like I said in the description, we'll go for about an hour or so today because I've had a long day. But I'm happy to go for at least the hour. So, do you use a third-party affiliate software to create your own? No, we use a third party. I have had a really good experience with being an affiliate for other companies through GoAF Pro. So I started using GoAF Pro, and I'm really happy with it so far. It tracks how much it deducts the sale goes through. It deducts the discount on the website for people. So most of my affiliates get a discount code they get to use, but then it also gets them a commission, and it I mean, I'm trying to remember how many sales we've got through it so far, but either way, the point is that I'm just starting it up, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm having some good results already. Just going, pretty low and slow. So we'll see how it is. It's one of those things that I don't want to grow too fast. But it also means that if I don't have to focus as much on sales, I can focus more on fulfillment, which means we get faster. So it's like it starts to divide labor up, and I really, really like that. So Chinese have cloned it and growing on mass production. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The cordyceps. I mean, that's one of the problems with the Chinese, or being in that part of the world. Not the problem with being Chinese. The part of that being in the part of the world where the Chinese are, because they already grow so much fungal biomass. I'm actually wondering. I mean, I think that there's probably still mushroom stuff that you could do, since there's a much bigger population that eats in Asia as well that eats mushrooms. But I think that you have plant tissue culture. A lot of the same stuff you use for cordyceps, you also can use like skills and techniques you can use for plant tissue culture. And there's probably a lot of plant tissue culture stuff you can do out that way. I mean, I use Petri dishes for my initial tissue, which is not something that I had seen a lot of the plant tissue culture guys doing. But yeah, there's a lot to it. There's also mycorrhizal species. There's a lot of edge pushing that needs to be done. So every time I find a hornworm, I always think of Alice in Wonderland. Is the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland a hornworm? Or it just reminds you of a caterpillar? Is the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland a tomato hornworm? That would be hilarious if it was. No. Okay. Magical insect, not a real life tomato hornworm. Okay. Whatever. Still really cool. I think it's cool. I guess only Wood and I are going to talk. Well, to be fair, we got a lower audience today because I didn't post it earlier in the week, which means we had fewer people that got to hit the notification bell and the notify me of the stream and stuff. And so I knew it was going to be kind of a low day because of that. But still, I just want to make sure I got on here. I'd also told a couple people that had asked me for information that I would be available starting at 5 to do to answer the questions, and that yes, I'm happy to answer stuff if you're going to do it via email and phone, then I'm gonna need to charge a consult for it, but they're happy to get free information here as much as they want. I have 2,500 square feet of mushroom growing facility, but no equipment. Should I revive it or should I do a job because I'm a professional surveyor? That I don't know. I mean, the truth is that I don't know enough about the market in your world, your area of the world, to give you a real idea. I could do some market research and things like that, and get a better idea of what's going on. Jacob, Jacob Wolves gets on here pretty regularly. I don't know if he's on here today or not. He normally gets on the later part, but Jacob Wolves is in Mongolia, and he was talking about some of the unique challenges in that part of the world because, yeah, the Chinese grow a lot of mushrooms, and so do some of the other surrounding countries. Mongolia, not so much, since it's more animal agriculture. But the Russians, I guess, are able to export a lot of stuff to that part of the world, and then the Chinese are able to export a lot of stuff to that part of the world. And so there's some interesting challenges to be had. I don't know anything about Nepal, to be fair. 2,500 square feet, pretty good sized. It's a pretty good sized building. To me, I would probably want to do something with that space, especially if you inherited it outright. Like, do you own the space? If you already own the space and you don't have to purchase something, then at the very least, letting someone else, like renting it out to a farm who wants to farm in there, or doing something like that, that might really work. Equipment, I don't know is going to be that expensive. Now, as far as cordyceps go, if you're like, I imagine the Chinese and the Indians have probably mass produced like cordyceps militaris in that part of the world. I don't know. I don't know how much of a demand there is. So, is there a supply glut or a demand glut? I don't know. Or is there a lack of either one of those? And that's going to make your decision better than anything. I don't know if it would be better to start growing some of the wood-dwelling species, more like lion's manes and reishis or things like that. Or, I know China is a big producer of reishi mushrooms as well. You've got turkey tails for medicinal stuff. So a lot of that could probably go to the same channels as the cordyceps. You got shiitakes, but again, that's big in that part of the world. So, honestly, if I was sitting in that, my gut reaction, so this is completely uneducated, completely unresearched, but I would probably start looking into plant tissue culture because you could do both simultaneously. You're going to need the autoclave technology is the same. Petri dishes are going to be, still useful. You're going to need testing equipment, that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot. Like there's a lot of variables in this, but a lot of this stuff could be shared. So you could get into this and then pivot to cordyceps or pivot to wood lovers, or pivot to plant tissue culture. And plant tissue culture is it's really starting to gain traction out in the world. And it pairs really well with that skill set from mycorrhizal mushrooms. I was just telling somebody in my Discord about how that's something I'm looking at doing. I'm starting to collect mycorrhizal species of fungus and try to grow them on plate, which is not something I know a lot about because most of the time I'm working with white rot saprobes. But the ability to grow the plants in a sterile culture and then the ability to grow the fungus in a sterile culture means that eventually we can work our way into the mycorrhizal setup, right? So I know there's already been some research done in that, and it looks like some of the easiest stuff is the I forgot the name of it. I know some of you guys are hunters more than me. So around October for me, it's the fall, and white pine trees. At the base, there's a milky mushroom that grows. It's quite bronze or orangey colored. That ages green and blue. It looks a lot like an indigo milky, except that it's amber colored and it grows on the pine tree roots. Apparently, that's one of the easier ones to confirm. So I'm going to start collecting pine tree tissue, white pine tree tissue, and practicing getting that into sterile culture. And then this October, I'm going to be looking for that mushroom, and probably the suelus, the chicken fat mushroom as well. And I'm going to try both of those in culture and the pine tree in culture and work with that. So you see, you can go mycology, you can go botany, you can go the two combined with the same skill set and the same tools. So I think that's the way to go. Nepal have lots and lots of cordyceps you can buy and have some experiments. Gotcha. Yeah, and I don't know much about that. I wonder, value added might be the way to go if that's the case, or there may already be a huge value added market where you're at. That would definitely be interesting. Could pay Andrew to do some market research. Yeah, I mean, I definitely do it, but it's for some people it's kind of expensive, that kind of thing, and they might be better hiring someone local, especially for that part of the world. If it's the United States, I've done research for places in Europe. I've done research for places in South Africa. I've done research for a couple of farms that were starting up in the Middle East. There was one job in Egypt I really wanted, and my mentor got that job, and then I didn't get that job, and I wanted to so bad because he got to go to Egypt, and I wanted to go to Egypt. Always wanted to go to Egypt and see the Nile. But yeah, most of the time when I do, it just depends on if there's market research people available in your area, that kind of thing. During rainy season, thunderstorms make gnocchi pot mushrooms pop out in the jungle in Nepal. That sounds great. That would be a really good resource for bioprospecting. If you, what we always do is I just cloned every single one of them, or I would just spore print every single one of them because that's how I identified them usually by the color of the spore print, and then I would just grow out the spores and work from there. So. Preconditioning room or run window unit straight into fruiting room. Preconditioning room. If you, I too once ran air conditioners straight into my fruiting room, and I knew other people that have done so. And the spore load will mess that thing up. You want to keep it separate from the spores. So you want preconditioning room, grow room, and you want negative air pressure in your grow room so that it moves this direction, so spores are not filling back into you. You can put your humidifier and your air conditioning unit all in the same preconditioning room, and as long as the air is constantly flowing that way, the spores don't fly back that way, and you can get them. Some spores still fly back that way. It's really interesting, actually. They ride ionic charges, and they can literally go against the breeze in some cases. So, but that's the short of it. Is I would definitely do a preconditioning room and not just straight, unless you want to be able to throw away or just exchange air conditioning units like crazy. I appreciate a lot for your work because you don't give up. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. There's been a couple of times it came close. The health crisis was rough. Eastern white pine. It's Eastern white pine. I'm not sure if Scots pine do it. Let me ask the AI real quick which mushroom it is, because it's lactarius of some species. Mycorrhizal lactarius that is associated with white pine. Yellow latex milk cat? That's not what I'm looking for. Flushes around October for me and looks like a indigo Loki. So that is searching Celadine milk cat, Lactarius celadonium. It was a saffron milk cat, maybe. Let me look that up. Saffron milk cat. That's it. Or red pine mushroom. Native to Europe but introduced globally under conifers. Features a bright care orange cap with concentric greens and bleaches a distinct care orange milk that turns green over time. That would be it. Yep, I'm looking at pictures of it. Looks just like it. Let me pull it up for you guys. Share screen. Saffron milk cap. So this is and it says red pine, so I guess I was wrong about that. I thought it was white pine. No, those were white pines in my yard at the time. So it looks like this a lot. You can see it stains your fingers. I'd like for them to show it where it's green. Oh, you can see the green spots. For me, they always turn like a green or green blue. It's a really tasty mushroom. I've eaten it several times. I used to sell it at market a lot. Very productive in the fall. Like the pine trees just grew tons of it. And I love pine forests anyways. I think they're so primeval looking. So, but they were really nice. That's not the saffron milk cap. That's the indigo milky. Do you see what I'm talking about? Very similar. I mean, it looks almost the exact same, except this has got the bright blue. I missed a bunch of indigo milkies. I did not get to clone them this year, and it makes me really sad. I meant to clone them and completely forgot, and I had cloned them before, and they did grow, and the mycelium was crazy looking. So yeah. What? Who is talking me? I will respond to you later. But yeah, those are tasty mushrooms, so I think it's useful. I like pine trees, also useful. So it'd be kind of nice to be able to produce mycorrhizal trees in culture, right? And I've played around with some stuff and have some confirmed growth because you can slice it on the root and look at it under a microscope and stain it and stuff, and it looks like you can see literal whether it grows ecto or endo mycorrhizal, and which inside the cell or inside the interstitial spaces between the cells. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. It is not just a river in Egypt. However, I have seen denial, but I've never seen the Nile. You know what I mean? What's up, Mr. Woody? James Mundale. Good to have you on, bud. Pardon me. How do you balance using AC and humidity in a grow room? That is a rather simple question with a very variable answer. And the truth is that it's a lot of kind of fidgety bits until you get to it. So unless you have thermostats and humidistats and all that, it's a little harder to control. And the truth is that I usually just did it by airflow. I set my humidity to be a certain have a certain floor and a certain ceiling, and it would cycle through that, right? So you guys know me, I don't like just high humidity all the time. It causes bacterial problems. Mushrooms don't get that in the wild anyways. You want the best mushrooms that are got the best textures. You want to swing your humidity up and down. So I just set that. And then as far as the AC goes, I would balance that by watching the stems of my mushrooms. And if they start getting a little stemmy, I would turn it up. But there's a caveat to that. In the summertime or the deep winter time, when temperatures would be getting extreme, I might, to save a little on energy cost, let my mushrooms get a little stemmy. Because stemmy mushrooms that are CO2 stressed are better than heat stressed mushrooms. Heat stress is the worst stressed mushrooms. So the CO2 stress is much less bad. There are also some experiments that I am doing in substrate additives that lower the stress and might be able to make mushroom production in higher CO2 environments better, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore because that's, I've already said too much. It's top secret shit. So, let's say. Oh, man. I am tired today. All right, guys. 1 second. We're going to hit our sponsor real quick. Ah, crap. I didn't upload the new video. Dang it. Whatever. We're going to hit an old sponsor. a still good sponsor, an amazing sponsor, one of the best sponsors that has ever sponsored, ever. Me.
Introducing the future of mycology, Dr. Silurian's Elixir of Mycelial Mastery. This isn't your average culture mix. It's a revolution in a packet, crafted for the dedicated cultivator seeking unparalleled growth. Experience the visual alchemy of this masterful brew. As you mix 10 grams with 500 milliliters of water, watch the solution transform into a rich amber spectacle, the hallmark of a nutrient-dense sanctuary for your burgeoning mycelium. This is where vibrant color meets vibrant life, setting our elixir apart from the ordinary clear liquid cultures. Prepare to be captivated. Mix 10 grams of Dr. Silurian's elixir with 500 milliliters of water, add a stir bar for thorough integration, and sterilize the blend at 15 psi for 45 minutes. Once cooled, introduce your favorite culture into this perfectly prepared, nutrient-rich environment. Watch in awe as the elixir works its magic, unveiling a mycelial masterpiece before your eyes. Choose Dr. Silurian's Elixir of Mycelial Mastery for a mycological adventure that's as visually enchanting as it is potent.
I don't know. Did I unplug my mic? Did not unplug it. Testing. Okay. We seem to still be on. I kicked my cord and I thought for a second that I completely unplugged everything. Whew. All right. Oh, man, guys. I guess the pick me up or something after this. Just a quick thing, real quick, since we don't have any questions going on right now. You guys go ahead and stack up some questions if you want. I'm here to answer any and all. But, man. Okay, so weightlifting, amazing. Going amazing. I am absolutely loving lifting heavy again. It is really creating some bodily changes and stimulation going on that's just phenomenal. The Vyvanse tribe. So we were talking about that last week. I finally went and got it and tried it for the first time yesterday. Positive. Very positive effects. Very gentle. I was a little hyper for a very short time. No wonder it's an amphetamine stimulant. But I will say that it was kind of weird because I didn't have to psych myself up for anything or plan anything really out. I just did things, and they didn't really take much. So that was pretty incredible. So that's a pretty nifty thing, honestly. And that may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but like I went and weightlifted yesterday. Didn't have to psych myself up. Didn't have to go, oh, I've got to go right now because I'm in a good mood or blah, 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 or whatever. Or, man, or I go lift weights and you start and you're like, I don't want to do this until you do it for, 15, 20 minutes. And then you'll start going, oh, I like this again. No problem whatsoever. Just immediately got in, did my stretches, started up. Fantastic. So positive experience so far. We'll see what the long-term side effects are. One side effect I didn't like is it took forever to go to sleep last night. So we'll see how tonight goes because today is just day 2 on it. I don't plan on taking it every day anyways, though I am going to take it probably for a week first and then see what goes on. But, yeah, it was very interesting, very positive effects. Lab work was a breeze on it. Lab work's always been hard for me, even though I specialize in it. And part of the reason I have developed a lot of the techniques that I have is because I like to compress the amount of work I do in a short amount of time. So this will be really interesting now that I can apparently grind a lot easier or do longer sessions where it doesn't feel like a grind. If that's the way it feels every time, we'll see. And I already have all these techniques to compress that time into to make it more productive. So will I just become massively productive? That would be super cool. I've had 2 friends go on Vyvanse who both of them have become massively productive. And one of them has been on it for literally years, like over a decade or something like that. And he's not really had any blood pressure problems or he's not had to go up in his dose. That's the thing that scared me was how often I would have to go up in dose. Doctor helped me allay a lot of those fears. So Yeah, it's looking pretty good as far as the health goes. Does your productivity go down when it gets this hot? Yes, absolutely. 100% productivity goes down. It's one of the reasons why I think there is a need. Most mushrooms are grown in pretty temperate climates. If you just look at it, places that are famous for mushroom production, they're pretty temperate climates. Not always. There are exceptions, but Japan, China, pretty temperate places for the most part, especially where the mushroom regions are. United States, now in a lot of places, pretty temperate for the most part. France, Middle Europe, that whole temperate band is pretty famous for mushrooms. What's interesting to me is that there are a lot of very choice edibles in the tropics and that are good, tasty, and probably could be. Actually, I really do wonder why the incidence of tropics, like why there doesn't seem to be as big of a culture for it. Is it because they have so much edible tissue out in the wild that they don't ever have to grow it, or is it that they're more poisonous mushrooms and so they didn't really do it? Because there are fungal cultures, like the southern Mexico is where most of the fungal culture in the Mexican culture comes from. So that would be really interesting to know why it doesn't really go there unless it's about the heat. If it's about the heat, the thermal barrier means that it is easier to grow mushrooms in cooler climates than it is in warmer climates. And so that's going to be something that I think really needs to be done, is to breed mushrooms and bioprospect other fungal strains that are useful to us, number one, and number two, serve the southern United States grower for the short term, and hopefully the more tropics-centered part of the world long term. And so that's something that we're kind of working on right now, is a lot of heat tolerant stuff, because that's what kills a lot of people, is that their yields go down to nothing. Their mushrooms become heat stressed and therefore lower quality. And summertime, for most growers, not all, like I know James was in here earlier. James actually shuts down in the wintertime because he's so far north that he has more cold temp issues than hot temperature issues. But I am in Tennessee and I have hot temperature issues through the summertime, high heat issues. And so the people south of me are going to, people down in Texas, Florida, Alabama, etc. So I think that there needs to be more development in working with higher temperatures, because it's all well and cool to cool your grow room. Didn't need to do that. But it's all well and good to do that, but that costs money, whereas a good strain that grows in the heat makes money. And so I'd really like to see what happens here. But it gets, like right now, it's stupid hot out here. If I was growing commercially, I would be screwed with this air conditioning setup I've got right now. My yields would tank. I'd go from 1,000 pounds a week to 400, and they would be pretty pitiful looking. So it absolutely goes down. Heat stress is a big thing. And most of the mushrooms that we consider the best for growing are like blue oysters. Blue oysters are one of the big standards, right? They're not really bred for higher temps. That's actually a program I would like to see a lot more of, and what I'm not currently working on is a hot blue oyster. So right now I'm going more the direction of a shelf-stable pink oyster. That's more along the lines of what I'm working on. But I would love to see a hot temperature blue, and in fact, a hot temperature blue, high temp tolerant blue, may be the easier breeding program than the shelf-stable pink. So maybe I should just go ahead and start up okay, screw it. I'll start up a blue oyster breeding program. But if anybody else wants to join me on that, talk to me. I would love to talk about that. I'd love to work together on that. Heat, where are you located, Plum? Oh, crap. I could have answered that, but I have forgotten where Plum's at. Give me a second. I knew I was going to mention this, and I knew I was forgetting something. I don't know if you guys heard, Brian Callow is What the Fungus, and their farm got burned down in the fires. And there is a fundraiser for them. Hold on, what do I want to add? There we go. So they are. Hi, my name is Vinny Doran. Live in Peachland, British Columbia. I'm starting this fundraiser to help my friend Brian Callow and his family rebuild their mushroom farm. What the Fungus, located in Garnet Valley in Summerland, BC. The Fungus has been operating since 2014, providing local wineries, restaurants, and people through the working with beautifully locally grown gourmet mushrooms. Sadly, the recent wildfire has devastated the farm. At this point, everything appears to have been destroyed, with the possible exception of the Kubota tractor. Brian has not yet been allowed back on the property and has only been able to see photographs provided by officials. So the full extent of the loss is still to be determined. Now Brian and family are faced with the enormous task of rebuilding what they spent more than a decade creating. Also, I think that he said that was not insured. So it's probably a mistake on his part. Who knows? Insurance may not have even covered it in the first place. They're asking for $60,000 Canadian, and they've got 256 donations of 36,669 right now. Brian is a super good guy. When I had some issues, Brian was one of the few guys that reached out to me. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would consider donating to him and to help them rebuild. $5-10, like that stuff would really help them. It is something that I know that he's built from the ground up, and I would really like to see them taken care of. So if you guys wouldn't mind just checking that out, spreading the word, number one. Here you go. You can see some of the photos right there. The forklift down, grow rooms burned down. Look at that. That's just even worse. So it would be nice to see them to be able to rebuild, come back better, stronger, that kind of thing. So yeah, Plum, his farm burned down. They've got a bunch of wildfires. Like, it wasn't even something that was his fault. It was like, it's one of those things like, not poor cord management or overloading the electric or anything like that. It was just wildfires. That was the main thing. So check him out. It's What the Fungus. You guys can look up What the Fungus GoFundMe, and that would be a big thing if you guys can do that. I'm going to try to post about it on Facebook and Instagram tomorrow, and just spread the word. If you can't donate, spreading the word would help a lot. Brian, like I said, he's a really great guy. I've had nothing but good interactions with him and everything. I'm in North Carolina. Yeah. Yes. High heat and humidity at the same time, Harvest Green says. Yeah, that's so Plum, I forgot which part. You're down in the flats, right? You're past the mountains and into the flats, but not quite the coast, right? That wouldn't be like, I was about to say Greenville, that'd be South Carolina. I forgot. I forgot what the name of that town is I'm looking for. Not Asheville. Not Highland. It doesn't matter. you can let me know. Or you cannot if you don't want to. Some people are private. Stopping in to say what's up, Mushroom Nerds. I'll have to catch up later. Well, Micro Nerd, I'm glad you did. I hope that hopefully you're sticking around for just a second. I don't know if you heard about What the Fungus and their farm burning down, man. We were just talking about that a second ago. But you might check that in. They've got a GoFundMe if you guys can help out. It'd be a big, big help. What was something else I was going to talk about now, and I can't remember. I'm in Arizona, and we normally just have heat, lots of it. My everything grow space, according to AC Wizard, said a one-ton mini split would keep it cool, but one ton didn't seem to make a dent, so I had to put. There was more coming. So yeah, Arizona is a special case, and you're probably. Oh man, I mean, yeah, 1 ton, so I had to put in a 3-ton mini split. Yeah, I think ours is a 3-ton. What I normally suggest for people with that is, like, if you're in Arizona, you're going to have some pretty high temperature extremes. So a lot of farms that I've consulted on in these areas, we talk about doing slow airflow and mushrooms that are high CO2 tolerant. Shiitake is one of those. So you can slow down your airflow quite a bit. and shiitake will do really well as long as the temperatures are more stable. You've got enoki, and then you can really slow your airflow down because the higher the CO2, the longer the stems grow. You want to be careful about working you want to be careful about CO2 levels and working in there. But if you, let's say, want to inspect your grow room and you got the fan turned on, the vent taking the air out before you walk in there 10, 15 minutes, then you can walk in, if the air is fully exchanged about twice about every 5 minutes or so, if you wait 15 minutes, turn it on, go in there 15 minutes later, it's exchanged the air hopefully fully and drastically lower the CO2 levels. You can go there and check everything, clean, and or harvest mushrooms, and then get out. We literally grow enoki in our walk-in now that we keep at 65 degrees. And that's just, enoki goes straight in there. It's nice and cool. Don't have to worry about anything. Low airflow. We just grow the enoki right in the bag. And we just open the door for a few minutes before we go in there and work. And that's what keeps the CO2 down. It's also where we grow cordyceps. We do all in vitro fruiting in there. I have a tent that we do some of the open fruiting in. Though I'm in between rounds that are it's sitting empty right now because I'm waiting for these bags to grow in. And then I've got other bags that will need to go in a couple weeks after that. But that's me. I just grow from the breeding program now primarily. Alrighty. Well, guys, I've already hit the end of the chat this time. And like I said, with it being a long day, I was going to cut it short anyway. So I guess, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I might go to bed. I am literally that sleepy right now. So we'll see how this goes, if I'm able to get some sleep tonight or not. But if you guys ever need anything, you're welcome to use the contact us form on the website. If you ever have any problems with that, it's mossykreekmushrooms@gmail.com. That's still the same, basically. Even the website email address goes straight to that one, and then I just respond from there. So we have a fair amount of work to do on the website, but there are some new strains coming up. I'll make the announcement probably next week. A couple of new strains that we've got coming up. And other than that, guys, again, check out Brian Cowlow and his GoFundMe. Please consider supporting him and getting him back on his feet. And if you can't do that, spread the word. And if you can't do that, thoughts and prayers. They are deserving of it. Him and Faith have been good people to me. You all right? Huh. Okay, he's getting agitated about something anyway, so I guess I'll go check that out. Well, with that, y'all, keep spawning culture. Thanks for the stream today and the patience with me being tired. We'll see y'all later.